Hi everyone and welcome to our weekly twin flame reading. I hope you guys are doing okay. As always, please bear in mind that these readings are collective, so it may or may not resonate with you, and that's okay. I just channel whatever kind of comes through. So I always set the intention for those in twin flame connections to kind of get the messages they need to hear for this week. So I'm going to start with the romance angels, and then I'm going to do things a bit differently this week. I'm just going to pull cards and see what comes through. But we will look into like divine masculine, divine feminine, etc. So that flew out. Let's see what's going on. We have keep an open mind. So right now it does seem like things are perhaps not very clear. You know, whenever this card comes out, it's kind of like a message that things are going on behind the scenes. We've got the religious factors card, which speaks about, you know, spiritual paths and journeys. So things are going on right now. And this connection really is being influenced by the spiritual journey both of you are on. That is why you're being guided to keep an open mind, because maybe something's happening right now which isn't very transparent for you. Maybe you can't really see what your counterpart is going through, and Spirit's saying, look, actually they're being influenced by their spiritual path right now. So perhaps that is why you are in this current situation. With the forgiving and learning cards, both of you are going through this time of healing where right now maybe you feel like you are having to forgive your counterpart for things from the past, and they could be doing the same. There's some really valuable lessons being learned, but they're worth waiting for. I really feel that this has been a lesson which has been needed to be learned for quite some time, and this definitely seems for both of you. Maybe you have both had to recently, I don't know, maybe like physically separate, or maybe just recently you both feel like you are going through a very personal lesson of growth, of spiritual development. And yeah, this could be something that has been kind of brewing for quite a long time. You've been preparing for this lesson, for this kind of cycle here. But with the worth waiting for, it's like, look, this isn't going to last forever. It is going to be a temporary situation, but in the meantime, try to keep an open mind, because maybe some things will happen that you just don't anticipate. Whenever that card comes up, I really feel some very exciting surprises. So we're going to see what these surprises are all about. So let us start with the Mermaid Tarot, and we're going to use this deck mainly for the divine masculines today. This Temperance card really wants to come out. So the divine masculines seem to be being maybe what you perceive as slow, but for them, they're being patient. They're waiting for the right time, trying to balance something out here. I do feel they are learning a very valuable lesson. Temperance, whenever I see that card, I know that they're on a very personal journey right now, trying to find their own answers, trying to, you know, discover something that they're here to learn. This feels like it's part of their purpose. It's part of their life path. We have the Five of Wands. So collectively, this is the divine masculines all moving in a very similar direction right now. So you will probably be able to connect with other people who identify as twin flames, who are also experiencing kind of similar things as to you right now, where the divine masculine seems to be really focused on finding their own light and like following their own path right now. With this Five of Wands, there's been some kind of conflict within them for quite some time, and in order for this conflict to be resolved, they really have to kind of ground themselves in their present lesson and kind of like take notes. They have to pay attention to this. They have to put in the work, because when that Five of Wands card comes out, it's like this is a time of preparation. The divine masculines right now all seem to be preparing, and they're doing this by focusing on their own path. You can't really see it, but in the background, I see this kind of glimmer of a rainbow here. You really can't see it on the camera. I've only just noticed it now. So there is still hope here. There is still hope in the divine masculine's headspace. He's still does feel quite optimistic about things, but he knows he needs to focus on his path right now in order to prepare. Queen of Wands. He is literally doing all of this to get to his divine feminine. So whatever he's going through right now, whether this is a dark night of the soul or whether it's just having some time and space in order to heal a lingering wound that's been existing for quite some time, he is doing this so that he can get towards his divine feminine. And right now it seems like the divine feminines are doing an excellent job at going with the flow. Even though your crown chakra seems a little bit blocked, so maybe you're not able to connect with your divine masculine as much in the 5D this week. Maybe it feels like that 5D is a little bit blocked. You're not able to see what is going on fully. Maybe you're not getting much through dreams and stuff, and that is completely okay. But yeah, it does seem like the 5D's kind of being temporarily shut down or blocked from you because there's too much going on a 3D level. You know, like I said before, this connection right now is being influenced by spiritual lessons. So Spirit's kind of protecting you to say, look, stop focusing on your divine masculine, but focus on your spiritual lesson right now, because there's learning to do on both sides. And the divine masculine is going through something which maybe, because it's so personal to them, it doesn't need the divine feminine to know about. So I see the divine masculine being very determined to get to his divine feminine and doing pretty much whatever's within his reach. Yeah, we've got the moon. So the moon is the divine feminine card. You know, the sun is masculine. So right now it seems like the divine masculine here is hearing the divine feminine calling out to him. You seem to be in a very magnetic place, divine feminines, where because you're going with the flow and really surrendering, you know, trying to keep that open mind, this is like giving off this energy which is just pulling the divine masculine towards you. So you really are in wonderful alignment this week, divine feminines, even though it's very likely that the recent full moon was quite a triggering experience. So even though you may have found yourself maybe like a little bit fearful or emotional the last kind of week or 2 weeks, in particular, I do feel like you are now coming out of that energy. You're embracing your fears. I saw something yesterday on Pinterest which was saying, you know, mindful people do not believe their thoughts. And I thought, how true is that? You know, when you are really practicing mindfulness, you don't believe the thoughts which you have. You don't believe that narrative, because you understand that we are not our thoughts. Sometimes our ego tells us things which simply aren't true. So I think that's something to bear in mind. 4 of Swords. So the divine masculine is really, really deeply healing, but whilst he's healing, he does seem to be on ice. He seems unavailable. He's kind of frozen off from his divine feminine right now, but I tell you now, this is collective. If you comment below, like I'm sure you'll see lots of people commenting the same thing here, where the divine masculine is really closing himself off from his divine feminine, because he is trying to heal something. He's trying to, you know, forgive or learn or grow spiritually here. We've got the Judgment. So whilst your divine masculine is kind of being frozen off from you right now, look what he's going through. Look at all of these divine masculines in their bubble. So they are very much in their own cocoons right now, focusing on their growth. But with this Judgment card, I know whenever this pops up that the universe is somehow watching over this situation. There is divine protection here. And we do have slowly, one by one, the divine masculines here popping up, coming out of this cocoon. So when your counterpart hears the call for them to re-emerge, they will. And there is going to be a couple of people who probably start to experience some more communication or start to like basically see some 3D progress from their divine masculine here. Now, in the past, I can see that the divine feminine has kind of reached out to her divine masculine and faced some kind of rejection. So maybe you sent a message which was never answered. Perhaps this person just kind of ignored what you had to say and didn't really engage in your offer. But you know, that was because, like I said, we have this this spiritual lesson at play for the divine masculine. But even though he may have ignored you in the past, Four of Pentacles, it's like as you just sit tight and nurture yourself and you do your thing, he does seem to be kind of moving closer toward you. Now, divine feminines, I see that you're kind of torn between holding on here and walking away, especially this last full moon that we've had. You seem like you kind of like don't really know what to do here. You can't keep waiting for your divine masculine. My throat went so tight then. You feel like the words you are saying are not being heard. Like your counterpart is just not listening to you. They're not taking on board what you have to say. They're ignoring you. It's become incredibly frustrating for you to deal with. You know, you're kind of sick and tired of it, divine feminine. So I do feel this energy where you just kind of want to walk away and detach right now, because you can't really give any more than you are doing, right? You know, you've reached out, you've extended the olive branch. It's not been kind of like reciprocated here. So let's see. I'm going to use the Alice in Wonderland Tarot now for divine feminines. So let's see what we get. Yeah, Five of Swords, Nine of Pentacles. So divine feminines here do seem to be kind of walking away a little bit or detaching, because with the Five of Swords, this has become a bit of a battle. And it's a battle that the divine feminines do not want to be in right now. So instead, with this Nine of Pentacles, it's like the divine feminines are really focusing on their own power and independence and success here. The divine feminines are very much detaching from kind of like the bumps in the road. I'm shown that when you follow the path so closely, you feel every single bump which is on that path. When you allow yourself to look at it from a higher perspective, you're no longer affected by all those little bumps. So it's like the divine feminines are just taking a bit of a step back right now, looking at things objectively, and as a result, not being affected by every little thing which happens in this connection. Because in the past, you may have found yourself being heavily impacted by what your divine masculine was doing. And now you're trying to detach a little bit and focus more on yourself. Now, the Nine of Pentacles in this deck, I always see as a message coming in whilst you are living your best life. So divine feminines, you are trying to get back to your garden, to kind of getting your things in order. Maybe you've neglected your space a little bit. Maybe you've not been focusing on self-love. So you've kind of got out of a routine here that I feel you want to get back in. A lot of you divine feminines, you're kind of seeing your divine masculine as like, he's kind of, he needs to have fun. He needs to raise his vibrations. He needs to focus on his own lessons. So you're choosing to do the same. You're choosing to kind of use this time. Here we go. Seven of Wands, to just like clear up things a little bit for yourself. The Seven of Wands is working hard. This is you putting the effort into like managing your own tasks and goals. As you can see, there's lots which is up in the air right now. So divine feminines, you're waiting for things to settle back down and feel more balanced before you give anything else. We've got the High Priestess. So your higher self is definitely encouraging you to do this, and you feel that pull to really just get back to working on you, get back to your spiritual lessons and development. Maybe for some of you, you kind of got out of touch with a habit, a routine that you had that you want to get back into. So you're trying to basically like come back to yourself here and just focus on, you know, on nurturing you, we have the Wheel of Fortune. So this cycle is about to be broken that you two are in. The Wheel of Fortune actually came out under the Judgment. I know you guys can't see my cards, but you know, XX for Judgment and X for Wheel of Fortune. So 3 10s here, XXX. This is all about completing this cycle. Like, it is done. The chasing, the running, like the divine feminines here are no longer engaging in that. You're like, do you know what? I'm not going to push. Whilst things are up in the air, because I tell you now they are, whilst things are up in the air with this connection, I'm going to wait for it to settle back down. I'm no longer going to push or try and rush this. I want to just stop chasing this connection and focus on me. I want to attract. 10 of Swords, really confirming the worst is behind you. Divine feminines are completely changing their approach to this connection. No longer allowing this connection to have that really heavy and maybe negative impact on her emotional well-being. Instead, you're choosing to look at things from that other perspective, where you focus on what you have in your life. You know, we focus on your garden, nurturing yourself. And 3 of Wands, you wait. You are waiting for the divine masculine to come to you, divine feminines, rather than keep reaching out and facing this kind of rejection and hurt. The divine feminines are like, do you know what? This is collective. I can see it all around me that lots of people are going through the same thing. Divine masculines are, you know, kind of on freeze right now, focusing on their spiritual lessons. So I need to wait for this to all settle back down collectively before I think about what's next. Okay, we are now going to see what is coming in this connection. So we're going to look into the near future, and then we're also going to get a channeled message from your counterpart. So let's see what is coming in this connection. Playfulness. I'm showing some playfulness here. So let's see. 2 of Swords. So in the future, we do have a very important decision being made. So this kind of time of not being able to see what is coming, this time of like suspension and pause, it is coming to a close here. Yeah, we have 3 of Swords. So look, we kind of have here, like in the near future, there's a lot of healing taking place. You know, we've got that, you know, in both the divine masculine and the divine feminines. We have huge amounts of healing with this 9 of Wands. We do have, you know, both of you kind of focusing on yourselves. And the 9 of Wands is also saying that perhaps the divine feminines are going to be a little bit guarded here in the near future. But the cycle ends. 4 of Wands, the High Priest, Queen of Pentacles, 4 of Cups. So in the future, what we do have here is we have the divine feminines kind of returning to stability and security. And these cards really are indicating an offer of commitment. So guys, I'm going to go into the extended now to look into all about what this offer is with this 4 of Cups, because with the High Priest and the 4 of Wands, this seems to be about, to be honest, I feel it's about sharing keys. I feel this is about either unlocking the next chapter or perhaps even having conversations around the living situation. But both those cards are indicating greater commitment. So I'm going to look into the extended, all about what is going to come from the divine masculine next, what offer they are going to make. We'll try and get some time frames, but obviously Spirit has its own timing. But we will definitely be looking more into yeah, basically what is coming from the divine masculines. We'll get that channeled message and we'll see what else is going on. So for a sneak preview of the extended, keep watching this video. And there'll also be details of how you can watch the extended on my Patreon site, sacredspace.co.uk. Links are in the description box below. I hope you guys enjoyed today's Twin Flame reading so far, and I will see you guys over on Sacred Space for the extended. If not, I'll see you back here next week for our kind of next lot of readings. So we've got morning messages Monday to Saturday, love readings on Tuesday and Friday, Twin Flame reading on Sunday, and a pick a card, which is usually either Wednesday or Thursday, which you guys get to vote for. So do check out my other readings. Don't forget to like this video and comment below with what resonated. And if you're not a subscriber already, please hit subscribe to show your support for my channel. For the extended version, visit www.sacredspace.co.uk. Click on the Spirit section at the top of the page and find the video that you want to purchase. You can also filter by category and choose Extended. Click Purchase to buy this individual video or sign up to the Evolved tier for full access to the Sacred Space site.